Hello everyone, welcome to Pathfinder. Once I get everything swapped over, swap over to the game music, swap over to the game, make the game music come back. Probably could have done that smarter. But here we are, Pathfinder. I am nervous. It has been a while, a long while since I have streamed. And almost as long since I've even made a video. So this is kind of a 2-in-1. Start out as a stream, end as a video. Woo, as Pathfinder. We're going to start a new game. We're just going to do the main story because that's all that's available. We're going to just do normal difficulty. I am not a professional at this game. I've played it a lot. But I haven't made it super far because I keep stopping to make new characters. We're gonna make a custom character. Okay, it's already clicked. We'll go next. We'll get a custom portrait. Ba-boom! We have our Dhampir Cruoromancer. If you think this portrait is cool, you can find it down in the link below on my merch store. Only $2, which I only get to keep $1. So it's kind of just a support thing. But if you're interested in using it in your game, I have this up, and there'll be many more up. It's just the only one I've been able to get up and ready so far because I'm lazy and I only do so much at a time. So in order to do Dhampir Cruoromancer, we have to go down to Wizard. We have to pick Cruoromancer. Cruoromancer has a prerequisite that we have to be a Dhampir. It is a class or race specific class. So we have to pick the Dhampir. Dhampir comes with Dhampir heritage, specific breeds of vampires, yada yada. Negative energy affinity. This means that we cannot be healed through positive energy. Normal healing spells hurt us, and negative energy heals us. We also take no penalties from energy drain effects. I'm not quite sure what that means. I know the negative energy is going to be a problem. Like your usual ways of healing yourself in the early game are Cure Light Hands and potions, and those are not going to work out. So it'll be tough figuring out how to stay alive in the early game. We get a +2 racial bonus on saving throws against disease and mind affecting effects. Say that 10 times fast. We're going to pick our heritage. We want something with high intelligence. This has a racial bonus to dexterity and charisma, racial bonus to strength and intelligence. The strength isn't really useful, so we'll look for another one. Strength and charisma, strength and wisdom, strength and intelligence again, dexterity and intelligence. Yeah, I'll check out dexterity and intelligence. I think dexterity will be more useful with mobility, avoiding attacks of opportunity possibly, so yeah, just staying out of danger, while strength is actually going to be a dump stat for us. We are going to look for probably something that gives us perception in our background selection. So let's see if I can find something good for perception. Perception and lore nature, +2 bonus saving throw against fatigue and exhaustion effects. So we'll pick the Qadiran Wanderer. If the character already has a class skill, weapon proficiency or armor proficiency granted by the selected background from her class during character creation, and the corresponding bonuses from background change to a +1 competence bonus in case of skills, a +1 enhancement bonus in case of weapon proficiency, and a -1 armor check penalty reduction in case of armor proficiency. I don't know what any of that means. I don't think it applies to us though. So we're going to pump intelligence up to 20 if we can get it there. We're going to drop strength down. We want our constitution at least 12. Let's get wisdom to at least 1. Pump up our constitution a bit more. We want decently high constitution. The Dhampir Cruoromancer uses her health points as like to cast. So I think we would like to get this a little bit higher if we can. Don't want to take too huge of negative to other things though. That kind of sucks. I'm not a huge fan of that. I would prefer to get the +1 on dexterity. I know we got the racial bonus +2. I would also prefer to have a +1 on both of these. Looks like we just can't make it. Wisdom at a negative already. We could drop that down 1 more. 2 more. 3 more. Oh my goodness. That's not what I was even looking for. What was I thinking? Alright, we'll put that at +1 there. Bump that back up to 9. Make that an even 10. Ah, no. I like where it was at. Charisma +0, Wisdom -1, Strength -2. I don't know if this is the perfect stat spread. It's just what looks good to me. I have 1 point left. I'll put it there. Put it there. Put it there. Alright, looks good. I'll stop digging with that. We're going to want Perception, Knowledge Arcana, Lore Religion, Lore Nature. I think those are the best choices here. Although point in Persuasion would be useful, we can have other party members that will benefit from using Persuasion. So we'll just go with that spread. Let's pick our feat. We're going to want Spell Focus Necromancy. I think we're just going to go for a greater Spell Focus Necromancy. We're just going to go all in on the Necromancy. We have to have our opposition schools. We have to have 2 of them. So these are 2 schools that you do not do well at. So we're gonna say Conjuration, and Divination. With these, when we could choose up to 8 spells, and you only need really 1 of these rays. So we're gonna take Cause Fear, and we'll pick. We can give them a penalty to Strength, which sounds pretty good. So I think I'll take Ray of Enfeeblement. Everything else is going to be other stuff. I think Magic Missile's a great pick. I think Mage Armor is a great pick. It is a Conjuration. Go back here and swap that over to like Evocation. There we go. Because I think Mage Armor is really good. Oh no, Magic Missile. Illusion. Yep. That's what we're doing. Because Mage Armor I think is too good not to take. I'm gonna grab Sleep. We have 3 choices left. Enlarged Person is a nice little buff. Nice little debuff. And we've got 1 more. Let's go for something, another damaging one. Let's go for Snowball. We choose our deity. We are obviously evil, so let's search up some evil ones. See if there's any that are necro. Like, let's look for necro specific. Urgathoa. God of the Undead or Goddess of the Undead. We'll pick her. Sounds fun. Our alignment is going to be evil, probably chaotic. Keep the regular body type. Let's get rid of the helmet. I think the helmets look silly in the game. It's already looking pretty decent, a lot like our character. I wonder if that was intentional or just how it was set up. We don't need any scars. We're gonna keep our hairstyle. Make our hair white. Take that. We're not gonna have any more paint. We'll make our primary color green. Our secondary color black.
Follow if you dare. The road calls me. I'll take the bait. Wherever my legs carry me. None shall escape. We won't falter. All I see is blackness.
The Mad Woman name sounds good. And we'll just name her, it sounds like a good name. What about we just name her Cruora? Like Cruora Deville? Cruora? Sounds fun. Well, birthday, we'll just pick a random month. And a random day. There we go, 5/11.
Let's shred them.
There is our character creation. It's not perfect. I don't think I min-maxed anything. I'm just kind of playing for fun. That's why I picked normal. We have a starting health of only 10. That's a really low starting health, despite our constitution. Alright, let's start.
Hey, somebody! We got a wounded fighter. Can we get a healer over here?
My, would you look at this? But why would you drag a wounded fighter into the middle of the festival square? Couldn't she be carted off somewhere else like, oh, I don't know, an infirmary? Or an accommodating ditch?
Make room, everyone! Step back! Now, what's the matter? What happened to her? The wound looks nasty. Who did this to her?
Demons, Prelate. We found her barely alive outside the walls of Canabris.
The walls, you say? Enemy doesn't usually...
Sorry about that. Just turning up the volume a little.
Stray so close to the city. Must fortify the defenses. And you, hold fast. Don't die. We'll see you right. We'll get you patched up now. But first, you there, guard. Take her weapons. Bearing arms is not permitted during the festival. Wounded or not, everyone must abide by the rules. She can get her things back after the festival.
Taking my weapons.
Leader of our troops, the sharpened edge of our blades and the unyielding strength of our armor. Iomade, I beseech you, grant your mercy. Heal her wounds.
So it's kind of cool you actually saw the spell he cast, which was like critical wound spell, because since we're undead, you can't use positive energy.
Someone call for Terendelev. You there. Yes, you. Stop dithering and gawping and make yourself useful. Go and get Terendelev.
Prelate, surely there is somebody else here better suited to running errands.
I'll get her! Terendelev! Has anyone seen Terendelev?
Be quick about it before it's too late. Now, who are you? I don't remember seeing you before, and I have an excellent memory for faces.
Who I am is none of your business.
What? Do you have any idea who you're talking to?
My dear Prelate, please, for the sake of the festivities, stop interrogating this poor woman. She's been through enough already. Go on. I'll take care of her.
All right, as you wish. You are our protector, and a dragon at that, so I...
Sorry about that again.
Your wisdom, but be on your guard. I've been informed she was wounded near Canabris. That means the demons are prowling just outside the walls, and the city is crawling with their spies. Others may be able to relax on this holiday, but not you or I. Not the defenders of the city.
Pry loose the grudging grip of pain. Cast off the veil of suffering flesh. Let light and life go forth in triumph to repel the skulking shade of death. There, I do not know
Oop,
yet.
what happened to me?
That troubles me. I am not entirely sure what the demons did to you. This wound is no ordinary injury, and it was inflicted by no ordinary weapon. I have rid you of your pain and restored your strength, but only time will allow you to heal fully.
Can I go?
Certainly, but be careful. I have managed to get you back on your feet, but I have not healed you fully. Alas, sooner or later, your pain will return. But do not be discouraged. You will recover, I promise you that. Tomorrow, come to the cathedral and say that you are expected by Tyrendelev, Protector of Canabras. We will find a way to help you. But for now, put this out of your mind and enjoy the festival. They are all too rare in this time of war, and merriment is one of the best medicines.
Alright, we gotta sample the special festival drink. None of that's important. Well, let's go sample that festival drink. Drink sampled. What now? We'll go throw some axes or knives. Play darts. You can interact with various objects such as doors and chests by clicking on them. Bullseye. Well, the city's being attacked by demons.
Discari, Lord of Locusts, leave my city!
Oof. Well, she didn't last long. I'm like, crap, just got healed.
Discari himself. Blimey! One minute we had a dragon, the next, bam, she was gone. What are you gonna do? Fight or flee? If fleeing's your plan, let me help you out. I've got a scroll here with a good protective spell.
I think I'm gonna look for a way out of here. Give me that protective spell.
Right away. Stand still now. No fidgeting while I cast this on you. Good luck. Try not to get eaten now. Take that, buckhead.
A mortal gnat snaps its jaws at the Lord of Locusts. Behold, Ione. Behold the death I saw.
Characters cannot sleep in medium or heavy armor. It makes attacks on your camp extra dangerous.
The silver dragon Tyrendelev, the defender of Canabras, fell in battle. Hardly surprising, as she had to fight the demon lord Discari himself. He willed the land to part and swallow all who dared to stand in his way. But the war was still far from over.
Well, we made it into a cavernous hole. Small woman with messy brown hair winces in pain, uttering a stream of curses through clenched teeth. She is pinned to the ground by a couple of weighty boulders.
Hey, stay with me. You actually got pretty lucky. You fell down into a black hole. But at least you're not on your own. You've got a great companion.
The young woman in knight's armor studies the rocks intently.
Tell me something. Can you feel your legs?
I feel them all right. Wouldn't say no to a little less feeling in them. My ankle's killing me, but my back seems to still be in one piece. My head, too.
That's all that matters. Now, we're going to... Hey! Fancy meeting you down here. You're the one that Terendelev healed today, right? You aren't injured, are you? Will you help me get her out from under the boulders?
We've got a difficulty check of 12. I have +0 to diplomacy. On the other hand, I have a +5 to knowledge world. I don't have to rely on brute strength for this. I'll try to find something to use as a lever. Failed it. Failed a +5. What did we roll? Rolled an 8, had a +5. Oh no, we rolled a 3. Oh my goodness. Either the sticks you found aren't suitable or you're just not using them correctly, but your efforts come to nothing.
I don't think you're gonna get anywhere with that. Why don't I just...
Using all her strength, the knight moves the boulder and drags the wounded woman out from under the rebel. After making sure her charge is alright, the knight allows her to catch her breath and wipe the sweat from her brow.
Damn it all. I think it's broken. Oh well, I've had worse. I'll just make myself a splint out of something. Thanks for the help. I wouldn't have lasted long on my own stuck under there. I'm Anevia Tirabade, of the Eagle Watch. I was overseeing security at the festival square. I thought maybe spies or demon worshippers might have something nasty planned. What actually happened, though, now that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone could have been prepared for that.
Well, I'm Sela, paladin by the grace of Iomedae. I crossed the whole continent to come to Mendev and fight demons. And well, I've been fighting for a while now. I don't even want to think what might be happening up there in the city. Canabres has lost the protection of Terendelev, and of the Wardstone too, looks like. It's a relic without equal. It was placed here personally by Iomedae's herald, with the goddess's blessing. I really wanted to go see it, to pray before it. But there's no point worrying about a stone when there are people dying in the streets.
Yeah, things are looking grim enough, but don't lose heart. Wardstone or no, dragon or no, Canabres will never give in. Simple as. Well, we've introduced ourselves. What about you?
My name's Cruora.
Good to meet you. Now, tell us all about yourself.
Whoa, girl. Slow down. Exchanging names is enough for now. We don't have time to be swapping life stories. We need to find a way out of here. Now then, I'll hobble my way out of here somehow. The city ain't far, only 30 paces or so. That's if you're going straight up, of course. I'm afraid we're gonna have to go the long way round.
Hey, Blazed, how are you doing today? Thank you for stopping by.
To summarize, there are 3 of us with 5 working legs, 3 pairs of decent hands, 2 clear heads, and 1 made of wood. That's mine. Underground monsters beware! Anevia, you stay behind us. You're in no fit state to fight. If we do come up against anything, the 2 of us will try to manage on our own first. Well, onward! May the good deities lead us back to the open sky soon.
Now your party has several characters. To select them, click and drag or click their portraits. We have nothing laying on the ground over here, and my character isn't really useful with a weapon, although I'm sure we could grab a crossbow or something to use, like that light crossbow. We definitely want the Cloak of Resistance as well. We'll grab the torches. A dagger can always be useful. Don't think anything else here is worth grabbing, so we'll go to our inventory. I'm gonna equip this light crossbow while also having dagger and an alternate set in case things get a little close. We start out with the engraved lucky bracers. Hey, Shinny, thanks for the portrait compliments. I thought it was a good angle too. Each portrait is different size, so I think I did a good job picking just the perfect angles for all of them. And I'm doing good, Blazed. How are you? We've got a Cloak of Resistance, which will help us against saving throws, which will really help because as a ranged or in the backline user, a lot of our threats are going to be other mages and rangers. We don't really have anything else. I don't find the torches super useful. I have not seen a use for. I mean, sure, they light up the dark, but you can just press tab to see anything you need to see. So that isn't useful at all. Pick up this loot. What could it be? It's a Scale of Terendelev. It is newer, yes. It came out within the last few weeks. Within the last month for sure. No cam, but one smexy voice. Yeah, I just thought that my cam would, like, I don't know, take away from the game. I think the game is gorgeous, and who really cares about my face, right? The fine apparel of this young half-elf woman is torn and stained with blood, dust, and dirt. However, she holds herself with such dignity that you would be forgiven for thinking you were at a high society party and not the dank catacombs under the city. Her fingers grip her rapier hilt with confidence, ready to draw it at a moment's notice. At her feet lies a dead body, so mutilated that at first glance, it's hard to tell if it's animal or human.
Relax, friend. We're not demons or cultists. Don't poke my eye out with that thing, all right? We fell down here during the attack. I'm Sela, that's Anevia, and this is our new friend. We're looking for a way back to the surface.
Yes, so I do believe that some items would be concealed. That would have to do with your perception stat. And darkness might affect how easy it is to perceive it. So that is a good point.
Really? I'm so ever glad to hear it. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Camellia. I was also in the square when... I can scarcely believe it. How did all those demons get into the city? I thought, naively it now seems, that the Wardstone protected us from attack. And Terendelev, I can't wrap my head around it.
Ah, that's the end of that. There's so many little gray texts that they usually pause on. I didn't tell. Not many could withstand a strike from the Demon Lord, not even Terendelev.
I can't argue with that. We're fortunate to be alive, albeit underground.
Daskari himself has come to Canobras. There's no mistaking that ugly mug. Terendelev tried to fight him, but what could she do against a near deity? Even the Wardstone was no help. Our city used to be protected by powerful forces, but now...
Yes, the cavern is definitely damp and humid, I would assume. Lots of mushrooms and wildlife growing, which I don't think could happen in a cavern that wasn't at least some sort of damp and humid. And yeah, Blazed, I had a pretty tough time learning this specific game too, but I do have experience in other tactical RPGs, which really helped the learning curve. Skip all the text and randomly select the dialogue option. It's one way to play. I don't recommend it though.
Henceforth, we shall have no one but ourselves to rely on, I suppose.
What happened to this poor man? Who is he?
I don't know. He must have been in the square when disaster struck. I tried to revive him, but he was already dead, sadly.
He didn't get these wounds from the fall. Be on your guard. Whatever killed him likely hasn't gone far.
Hang on. I think I know him. His name's Aravashniel, the egghead from the library. He was a good lad, even if he was kind of stuck up. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, the voice acting for this game is too good to just skip all the text.
Certainly. Survivors should stick together. It's only sensible. Who knows what else could be prowling about in these caves?
We need to keep moving. There must be a way back to the surface somewhere around here.
It would be the height of foolishness to survive a demon attack only to perish under a pile of rubble.
Let's see if this poor bloke has anything useful on him. Not to sound like a heartless brigand or nothing, but we kinda need all the supplies we can get right now.
We have a wounded new party member, so she has 7 out of 11 health, but she also comes with 2 uses of Cure Light Wounds. You have so many uses of your spells that you can use per day, but that you can refresh them when resting at a camp. So she uses 1 to heal herself up. Seela will also get a few uses of healing at later levels, but not at level 1. So primarily our only healer is Camellia, who cannot heal Cruora because she's undead, and healing spells do not heal undead. What if she is the murderer? Yeah, I had thought that a couple times, because I've played through this beginning intro a few times, but just the level of mutilation of the body and the fact that there's a giant fucking centipede right down the hallway makes me think that maybe it was the centipede.
I'll cut you wide open.
We're gonna turn on tactical turn-based mode.
I see blood. Blood.
So I prefer the turn-based mode. Some might prefer the real-time combat, but I find the game more difficult to micromanage in the real-time combat.
The spirits demand your blood.
We just explode that guy. I'll walk up a little bit. We don't want to walk up too far. End our turn there. It's our turn. We have a decent amount of movement points because of us wearing no armor. And we have a Ray of Frost, Acid Splash, Magic Missile 1 use, Mage Armor 1 use, Reduce Person 1 use, Cause Fear 1 use. Focused Infusion. When the Cruoromancer uses this infusion, he adds a +1 to the DC of the infused Necromancy spell, which is pretty cool. Cause Fear, and we should have more here. We have Touch of Fatigue. We should also have Disrupt Undead. We don't need Flare in our list. Resistance is nice to have. We have Jolt here. Cause a spark of electricity to strike the target with a successful ranged touch attack. 1d3 point of electricity damage. We'll stick with the Ray of Frost. They're both evoc. I know this one's transmutation. We'll probably use Ray of Frost here. We're probably gonna miss, honestly. Oh no, 2 damage. Very good, very good. Finish him off. And then Seela's turn. And of course it's an easy fight. It's the very beginning of the game, and it's your first fight of the game. Oop, free loot. Just grab all of that. Nothing super crazy here. The bottle of oil can be sold. The gold coin is, you know, it's a gold coin. The padded armor is nearly useless. We'll get another Tyrandulev scale here.
We are the light. They are the darkness.
Now we're fighting a giant fly. It's pretty much what Shinny faces every time he streams. He has a lot of life. 8 only did half. And we're going to step up a little bit. Cast another Ray of Frost. Now see, we miss because we have a lower chance of hitting with ranged attacks. The Ray attacks count as ranged attacks when an enemy is engaged with another opponent. So we will need to pick up, at some point, a perk that makes it easier for us to hit enemies that are in melee combat. It'll probably be worse since it just rained. Yep, it's always worse. The bugs like to come inside when it rains. Left is way onwards, but I like to go down this way. There's a few more battles for XP, and there's some loot. Let's step up. Not too close though. Cast our Ray of Frost. We missed again because we are just bad. But that's just how it is. Wizards and mages in the early games are super, super weak. So you're going to really rely on the power of your party members until you get the proper feats and spells to be able to just take over a battlefield. And to the mid to late game, you're going to just dominate everything pretty much single-handedly. There's the loot. We get some braces of armor 1, which is pretty great. A couple health potions. The light mace isn't useful, so I'm not even going to grab it. And the scroll of inflict light wounds is going to be really good because it's our only source of healing for Cruora right now. We also grabbed in the beginning a nice false life enchantment, which just makes us not die a little bit easier. Because dying's bad, and we don't want to die.
Into the fray.
Speed that up, end her turn. You're going to rely on mainly basic attacks and your cantrips, which are the 0-cost spells. I have very few uses of any of the other spells, so I'm just going to avoid it until we fight a fight that is demands you to use more damaging abilities. These early fights are super easy, so you don't really want to waste your one-time uses on them. It can be a hard balancing act, figuring out, is this fight worthy enough? Ooh, got some rainbow quartz, that's fantastic. A flame tongue is pretty good as well. You can either sell that rainbow quartz or keep it as a reagent for brewing potions later.
They will break against our resolve.
I'm just gonna sprint up to him to engage him. This will make it so you can't really run at my mage. I believe he'll have more health, so we'll use an acid attack. Which does low damage, but it repeats. I'm not close enough to swing here, unfortunately, so I'll just have to step up. I'm gonna step up a little bit more. We can use our Ray of Frost now. We missed, of course.
Into the fray. Go for their heart.
We've taken a bit of damage here, so we're gonna use our other healing spell here. Use our main tank. Healer for a whole 2. And if things get a little bit more dire, we'll use some potions. So, monitor lizards are one of the few creatures that have loot on them, but you have to pass a skill check in order to get them. Luckily we passed. It's a lore nature.
No, I can't just walk away. It's got to be here somewhere.
You struggle to make out the man's features in the gloom. As soon as he steps into the circle of light, however, you realize that you have never encountered a creature like this before. The stranger looks like the work of a vivisectionist who attempted to stitch together a lizard and a man. The man notices you and freezes. The curling horn protruding from his head casts a malevolent shadow on the cave wall.
Lan, did you find it?
The woman looks just as strange as her companion, like a cross between a cat and a spider. When she catches sight of you, she immediately drops into a fighting stance. Her movements reveal the lethal grace of a wild predator.
The do-gooders here to save our mongrel souls, no doubt. Wait, they might know what's going on up there.
I don't know what that option will do. I wonder if it actually attacks them. Probably not smart. We'll skip it, although I'm really tempted. Why should I tell you anything?
I just thought it might be nice to know why the roof was shaking.
Lynn tries to appear nonchalant, but he is visibly agitated.
What happened on the surface has caused problems for us, and we need to fix them.
Well, demons are laying waste to Canabras.
If things are as bad as you say, then we all have to hurry.
You didn't come from the direction of the shield maze. Damn it. I couldn't care less about what's happening on the surface, but the maze.
Wenduag's voice actress is fantastic. She does just a wonderful job of portraying her character well. It's a perfect example of being like, hey, what should I sound like? Shows picture of cat spider and goes, ah, I got the perfect voice for that.
I realize that you guys have your own troubles, but we need to be in Canabras. People are dying up there. Please, show us the way out.
What are you doing here?
That's none of your bit.
We're looking for a holy sword. It was here, in the center, sticking out of a rock. The sooner we find it, the better. Some kids from our tribe took off for the shield maze. They figured it had collapsed, and now it's their time to go up to the surface, like all the legends foretold. Except they don't have a clue what's waiting for them up there. They're not fighters. And Saul, the chief of our tribe, is dead set against it. He says that now isn't the time for the underground crusaders to take up arms. If we get the holy sword, we might be able to change the chief's mind.
It's a fool's errand. None of us will be able to hold the sword, let alone use it to save anyone. It's not an ordinary weapon. It's made from righteous heavenly flame and will burn anyone who touches it. Do you think you're special, Lan?
I'll pick it up with my teeth and tie it to my hand if I have to. It doesn't matter. An angel's sword and a troop of stalwart mongrels will be able to work a minor miracle. Speaking of which, you're still here, Wendu, which means that deep down, you know it's possible.
Wenduag shrugs and turns away. I can help you. You're gonna have to pay for it.
Of course. How about we do this? You help us, and we don't leave you here to rot in these underground tunnels that only we know. I think that sounds fair.
Does that sound fair, chat?
Yeah, and we could throw in a dozen fresh rats to sweeten the deal. That's a tempting offer in these parts. Help us, and we'll help you. This is very important. Wenduag believes the maze leads to the outside. She knows what she's talking about.
Now see, a dozen fresh rats is actually a pretty sweet deal, right? So what you do is you wait for the rats to starve to death, and then you use your necromancy to bring them back to life as zombie rats. You can just throw them at people and they'll run away. Genius.
Alright, underground folks, you got yourselves a deal. But if you find the sword first, don't forget we helped you. Our agreement still stands.
So we've got to find the sword, which is really just a tutorial in perception. You walk around, you wait for somebody to spot something. You just kind of, they keep rolling perception over and over until they succeed. So I don't think I've ever missed anything. And then this is cool. So this is a little lore religion check. So you'll look at the statue and be like, what is that? So we're going to do that. Whoever has your highest skill. Statue of an unknown knight. The technique is crude, but the figure was clearly crafted with genuine feeling. Judging by the style of armor, the knight is from the First Crusade. Gives us a little bit of experience for figuring out what it is, and it gives you, like, failing it, like, answers the wrong thing. So I just think that's super fun in role-playing games, where you're just like, what is that? And you're like, I don't know, maybe it's just a statue of a guy. Or, like, what's going on over here? I don't know. Maybe it's just some people hanging out. It's just, I like that in role-playing. Giving you the wrong answer and you're not able to undo it because you believe that's the right answer. Oh, like a sword. A strange flash pierces the gloom, and Cruora feels drops of searing blood run down her chest. The wound healed by Tyrendelev reopens and weeps scarlet. There is no pain or weakness. A hazy scene appears, a cave chamber. This one, or another one entirely. Cruora's heartbeat quickens, and a stream of thoughts suddenly bursts into her mind. Thoughts that clearly belong to another. Treachery! They betrayed me, trapped me, and stabbed me in the back. My trusted allies, my treasured friends, the people I swore to protect, the people for whom I descended from heaven and came to this turbulent, mortal world. There they are up ahead, in the gloom of the cave. What are they waiting for? Are they afraid to draw any closer? Do they believe I am about to die from their traitorous blows? Next to me, a quiet moan. A girl with a golden braid lies on the rocks, clutching her slashed side. She refused to join with the traitors and paid dearly for it. I could have tried to run, but I will not. Whilst I still have strength, I must. While recognizing the foreign origin of these thoughts, Cruora intuits that she can control them somehow. Let's try to furiously call out to the traitors. The voice, trembling with pain and rage, carries to the farthest reaches of the cave ceiling in this strange vision. Why? Why did you betray me and your comrades? What did the servants of the abyss tempt you with? Blurred shapes, the faces of several mortals, bleed into existence. One of them, a young half-elf with his hair twisted into a knot, responds to the accusations. You and your goddess have given us nothing, Lariel. Nothing. But Lord Tiscari will give us everything, and there is no power in the world that will stop his advance. The frenzy of foreign thoughts comes faster and faster, like a rushing river, and images flash by one after another. A priestess in colorful robes observing the stars, a young female paladin praying, clutching her glowing sword, a majestic golden-winged angel gazing into the distance, his face covered by a helmet but his voice ringing clear. Only if you're willing and only if you're ready. There is no going back. There, in the vision, the darkness in the cave stirs into motion. Something massive appears from within its depths. A vague shadow, an outline, a nightmare come to life. A wave of odious chirping and rustling emanates from the shadow, the sound piercing like hot irons, lancing through flesh and bone. The traitors fall to their knees before the shadow in reverent ecstasy, and the wounded girl thrashes in her death throes. So we can either fight off the illusion with our will. We have a +4 to will, so that's pretty good, with a difficulty check of 10. We can use our knowledge arcana, which we have a +9 to, so that's a highest bonus, same difficulty check. But Cruora knows how to resist malign influence such as this, no matter its origin. We succeeded. We rolled a 1, we got +9, so we hit exactly. Like, oh man, that was like, it was literally a crit fail, but our skill value is the only reason we passed it. The force of the attack, though originating in a vision, is terrifying, but Cruora is stronger. She shakes off the pain and torpor. But alas, the one who sent the vision cannot claim the same. He is broken and exhausted. A monstrous shadow emerges from the murk of the cave. It is not real, it exists only in this strange vision or memory. But the thrill of fear it provokes is more than real. The shadow's features starkly resemble those of Tiscari, the terrifying demon lord. In a movement as swift as thought itself, the monster's hand is wrapped around the throat of the one they called Lariel. The foolish angel struggling on the rocks, like a fly with its wings torn off, intones the shadow. Its voice changes as it moves, shifting from a quiet whispering to a sonorous shout, becoming young, then old, and quivering. Where is your goddess, angel? Where is her self-assured herald? How is it that you are dying here alone, so far from the light of your heaven? A strange calm envelops the thoughts of the one called Lariel. He recognizes who stands before him, and he knows he will never bow down before this enemy. The flaming sword flares to life in his hand, bright, pure, flickering with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam through stained glass. Slash! The blade slices through the demonic creature's flesh, and the monster recoils with a howl, releasing his grip on Lariel's throat. The angel falls back heavily on the rocks. His vitality is ebbing, but his pride remains undiminished. He grips the sword, and with his last burst of strength, plunges it into the rock. Cruora senses that the vision is fading, the rush of thoughts diminishing like a river running dry. The last thing she hears is this. "You will kill me, monster, this I know. But one day, someone will come here and raise up my sword. They will raise it up and punish evildoers and traitors." The vision disappears, vanishing in a burst of colors. Cruora does not hear the final words, but she seems to complete the thought, taking it to heart. The words fly from her lips, and with them, something else. The heat blazing in Cruora's chest fades away. The edges of the scarlet wound close, leaving not even a scar behind. Looking down, Cruora sees the flaming sword in her hand. Or rather, its outline, the memory of what the sword looked like. With a final surge of warm and soothing light, the sword vanishes, and the light is drawn into her hand. Cruora senses that it will return. All she need do is call it.
Hey, are you alright? You were kinda glowing just now.
Seela kneels before the light, offering up a prayer to Iomedae.
That was it. The light of heaven. But how?
What did you do with it? Where did it go?
I think I saw the memories of Lariel, the angel who died here.
Lariel? That really was Lariel? The angel from the legends. The ancestors even got his name right on the gravestone. The chief will be thrilled.
You. Thousands of gongs and no one's been able to touch it, and now you, an ordinary creature of flesh and blood no different to us, get the sword and start talking about visions.
Now, Wendowog, don't be a sore loser. She is clearly different from us. The sword appeared before her, along with the angel's name and all that other stuff, because she doesn't carry our mongrel taint. Heaven doesn't give a damn how special we are. We're born with evil inside us. Heaven doesn't need to know any more than that. I know you're willing to tear anyone apart to uphold our people's honor, but you and Sol, you just refuse to face the truth. We are the way we are because our ancestors' bodies were corrupted by the abyss. It does the same thing to plants and animals. There's nothing heroic or special about it. It doesn't make us better, and it doesn't make us worthier.
It seems I can control it.
That is just... wow, I mean, that's amazing! Heaven has truly blessed you.
This power is the most majestic thing I've ever seen in all my life. Is this what the sun is like, Lan?
Yes, it's similar, but this light is more... golden? Chief Sol needs to see this. Now that we have the power of angels on our side, he can't say no. He'll have to assemble a troop to storm the maze. You Uplanders care about your kids, right? Help us save ours. Without them, we won't survive. And then, the perils of the maze won't be so bad if we go together. We'll make our way through it and find the way to Canabras.
Lead us to your chief, and I'll decide if I'm going to help you or not.
Let's go. We'll take the short route. Well, the only route, really. Ride from me.
Well, here's the route. certain routes are blocked off by difficulty checks. This one is a mobility check, which should be pretty easy to complete with Melia. As long as you have everybody selected, it'll automatically pick whoever has the highest chances to get across. So always make sure to select everybody when doing a difficulty check. If you select somebody who has poor mobility, you're going to fail and possibly do damage to yourself. So it looks like Lan is going to take that difficulty check. We made it across. You can go back doing the same difficulty check, but I don't really recommend it because forward is the way to go. We're going to fight some giant ass spiders now. So we have Lan. Lan uses a bow. Wenduag also uses a bow. They're pretty much the same class. Lan is a Zen archer, and Wenduag is a fighter, actually. It's always interesting to see a fighter using a bow, but the perks work out really well, and I consider Wenduag to be super strong. She's going to move up, but she cannot quite make it. Right now, she's just bait, honestly. We could see if we can use a potion to heal up, so she doesn't get one shot, and we'll end her turn. Got some lucky misses here. We're going to step up with Wenduag, and we'll attack the farthest spider. Now we have very low health on that farthest spider, but I don't think that we can hit the farthest spider here. We'll move up as far as we can. It does look like it's just barely within our range. We might be able to finish it off here. We only did 1 damage. Low damage roll there. Didn't really help out much. We'll finish it off with Seela. And then we have Lan to probably finish off that spider. Oh, really close. So he had 2 attacks because he did not use a move action. A lot of ranged attackers do get that. If you do not use your move action, your standard action is more attacks. And it really makes rangers super useful in your party. We don't have any loot from the battle. We do have some lying down here. Get some mushrooms, some mold, and bezoar. I don't know if that's the pronunciation. Some more inflict light wounds, which is good because it is her only healing at the moment. We have abilities here. We have some infusions. We can give it a sickening infusion, which is pretty good. A focused infusion, adding to the difficulty check. You can make a melee touch attack that causes a living creature to become shaken for a number of rounds. I do not have that down on my skill bar. We'll put it down there for now. Use that 8 times. Touch attacks are pretty close range, so I'd save them for use against enemies that run up to me. We're going to use this mobility here to fight some elementals that are hiding down here. I can't remember if there's any useful loot, but I like the XP. I don't like their positioning really here. I'm going to swap up their formation. Do custom formation. I want Seela in the front. I want Camellia right next to her. I'm going to want them to be on either side. We'll do it like that. That formation seems pretty decent. And we have some small earth elementals. We're just going to attack. She only got 1. We're not going to move anywhere. I don't want the earth elementals to rush my archers. He attacked twice, hit for 2, and then missed on his second one. We're just going to charge up into melee range here. It stopped your movement because a perception check succeeded. This is because sometimes there are traps in the game and sometimes you perceive those traps. So it stops your movement so that you do not run straight into those traps. Ooh, yep, she got 1 smacked. That was rough. Luckily there's no big debuff there. It is annoying. We'll have to heal her up. Killed that elemental with a nice ice blast, and we can move up a little bit. If you move before acting or casting, you can get a decent amount of movement in, but if you move after casting, you can only move a small amount. We're gonna run up again. We're not gonna go the full way this time. We'll make the opponent use an action. Just keep peppering them with arrows. Not super high damage because of, you know, their earth, so they get some physical damage resistance. Yeah, oh man, they hit hard. They hit hard. This is an optional fight, and it's a pretty tough. The game has a lot of optional fights in it that are pretty darn difficult to finish. And this one's one of the easier ones. Later in the game, there's a water elemental that it's almost impossible to beat without reloading once or twice to get, you know, a better outcome. Alright, we'll finish them off, and now they are not doing so hot. I'm going to have to use some potions on them because I'm all out of healing. But there's also this wand here, which actually really helps. So, Camellia is really good at using magical devices, so I can equip this wand to her. And instead of wasting my potions, I can use the wand. It has a limited amount of uses, but you want to use them all before the Cure Light Wounds just falls off late game. At some point, you're having over like 30-40 health, and healing for 2 to 3 is just not beneficial. So we used 5 uses on that. Another 5 uses should at least get us through the tutorial area. And we got 18 times 2 experience. So it was a decent amount of experience for that. I definitely consider it worth it. The gold was like 35, I believe. That was pretty nice.
Wherever my legs carry me.
I think you should always at least save before trying, but try every optional fight. They usually give pretty darn good loot. And they'll usually also be like class specific loots. Let's move. Looks like we surprised them, so I can move without having to worry about being attacked back.
You won't survive me.
She won't be able to attack when she moves, but it'll kind of make sure that the fly stays up front rather than diving my back line. I don't even think she needs to move. Yeah. Now we can move up. Looks like there's more units back in the fog of war. We still don't want to move in front of our tank, because we just prefer not having aggro drawn to our less healthy characters. We just shot a crossbow that time. Mainly a mistake, but not too big of a deal. I'm gonna step up here. You can hit the end turn button while in the middle of an action to just speed up that action. And there we go. Yep, it's telling me how attacks work. I already know. If you're interested, you play the game yourself. You don't need to know exactly how the attack rolls and whatnot work. We got some giant spiders. This time it looks like they ambushed us.
You are today's sacrifice.
Make every strike count.
Oh yeah, that was very good. Lan took out one of the guys in the back immediately. I'll do some chip damage to the front here. Critical hit. Fantastic. No loot. Oh, some hidden loot there. Wouldn't have been able to see it otherwise. This is a Masterwork Greatsword. It weighs 8 pounds, but it sells for 100 gold. So none of my characters use a Masterwork Greatsword, but 100 gold is always useful. Everything else is kind of useless though, so we're going to skip it.
Forwards, no backwards, backwards.
Wendweg glances at Lan, who is fixing his slipped bowstring, and quickly walks over to you. Her cat-like eyes glow from beneath her hood. Listen here, you. I don't know who you are, or where you came from. You and I are the only two people here who see things clearly. That's why I'm asking you, don't show the light of heaven to Sol. Lan is sure that the light should be shown to the mongrels. Lan, Wendweg grimaces and a guttural, husky snarl unfurls in her throat. He wants to play the hero. His first idea, if you remember, was to grab the sword and run headlong into the maze. Does that sound like a plan to you? To me, it sounds like suicide. The worst part is that the tribe might actually take his words to heart and follow where he leads. Thought you considered the mongrels to be great warriors. The descendants of great warriors. I believe that my people are worthy of greatness, that we are strong and can do many things. That's why we're chased down here. We scared people. But it's one thing to go hunting in the caves, and another to fight in the shield maze. Wendweg leans closer, her pupils dilating. I've been there. I've spent my whole life training so I can make it through all the way to the end. There were more of us trackers at the start. We were young and stupid. What's a couple of monsters when there's a whole world out there waiting for us? That's what we thought, but we weren't prepared. The maze isn't just a physical challenge. It's cunning and full of traps. It's dark as the primordial night. And if you close your eyes and listen, you hear whispers right behind you and soft singing in the distance that seems to rise and fall with the beating of your heart. Wendweg looks away. I had to learn from my friends' mistakes. I had to step over their bodies and go further. I don't want to have to do that again, and it will happen again if a crowd of ill-prepared fighters burst into the maze with no idea where they're going, all because Lan believes that a glowing sword will solve all our problems. Don't you want to save the kids lost in the maze? I do want to, but I'm not going to risk the future of the tribe for the sake of a few stupid kids. Chief Sol is hesitant, and for good reason. He also understands how dangerous this is for the tribe. Lan's the only one who benefits from these childish games of heroism. I'll go alone if I have to and find them, or whatever's left of them, without any heroics, relying only on myself, risking only my own life. Wendweg slows. You and your friends, you can come with me. Perhaps we can make it to the end of the maze together and find the way out to the surface. I'll think about it. Let's go. Wendweg nods. Don't show the chief the light, and I'll lead you through the maze to the surface. I swear it. Click this icon to leave a location. We're gonna head to Neathholm. So after you finish an area, you can pick up all the loot that you left behind. This is because you have a weight limit, and that weight limit reduces your strength, fatigues you, makes traveling take longer. So you don't generally want to pick up absolutely everything. At the end, you can pick it up. So it could be like, oh, go to a merchant. I could make an extra 4 gold off these 3 items. I'm just going to leave it for now, but you can make a little bit extra gold, banking on the idea that you're going to meet up with a merchant soon. Now we made it to Neathholm, which is an underground village where the mongrels live. The mongrels are descendants of people who basically were just banished under the city. Living in the darkness and near the abyss has kind of mutated them and their kin to be very tiefling-like. They are not tieflings, but you'd be hard-pressed to think that they were related to tieflings in some way. Your first impression of the mongrel village is of a squalid dump with the odors to match. Unblinking, glowing eyes watch you from the gloom, and deformed shadows slope between the huts. You see some mongrels gutting white, eyeless fish, while others are repairing fish nets. All the signs of normal village life, but tense expectation hangs in the air. A heavy-set, aged mongrel slowly shuffles his way toward you. The hair on his head grows in limp, wispy strands, and his face has a distinctly rat-like appearance, with pronounced teeth, and you hear a rattling sound in his chest with every breath he takes. One of his eyes is white, fully scarred by cataracts, while the other gleams with moisture. Uplanders, eh? End time sure upon us indeed. Chief Soul, we found the Angel's Sword, and we found the one who can wield it, Lan points at you. She had a vision, and now the Angel's Sword together with the light of heaven are somehow inside her? Gather the tribe, anyone who can hold a weapon. The young ones are still alive. We can go save them. Soul raises his hand with ragged, broken fingernails. Ah, Lan, always dreaming, always talking. You're too hasty. Too hasty for your own good. It's going to get you in trouble. Soul eyes you up and down. An uplander with the light of heaven. That's too good for us. Our kind don't have good things happen. There's always a catch. Lan trusts people because he likes to believe. Isn't that right, Lan? I'm the chief. I don't work on faith. Show the light. Windwag stares at you intently, like a cat watching a bird, and shakes her head in warning. So we have a chaotic choice, a lawful choice, and 2 neutral choices. We can just ask about other people from the surface. We can do that. Is there someone else from the surface here? Soul points off to the side. There he is. Hale and hardy and prim as a peacock, just like me. Soul laughs, but quickly returns to business. Not good. Too many uplanders. Not good. Not right. What are you up to here? You're not one of us. We're not your kind. When the time comes, we'll come to you, not you to us. Lan is mistaken. We didn't find the sword. Lan whips around to look at you, stunned. He clenches his fists for a moment as if planning to shake the truth out of you, but he quickly gets a handle on himself. I don't know why you're lying. No doubt you have your reasons, but I know it's a lie, and you know it. And Wendu knows it. Lan turns to Wenduag. Tell him, Wendu. Wenduag stares blankly at him. I saw the light shining through the rocks, and then it went out. Lan saw what he wanted to see. Why are you doing this? Doing what? Telling the truth? Not gonna say anything. Lan looks at you expectantly and sighs when you don't answer. Right. You and Wendu have worked everything out between yourselves. You've played me for a blind mole here. Lan barks a hollow laugh. Everybody around me said that they didn't want to go anywhere or save anyone, but I didn't believe them. I always have to take things further than anyone else. Isn't that right, Chief? Fine, I see how things are. I don't need any more convincing. Heesh, Lan. Miracles are not for us. We, the tribe, wait. If you're one of us, you will wait. We're not going anywhere. Uplanders, rest now. There's a hut over there. You can rest there. Lan is silent, his eyes shifting from you and Soul to Wenduag. You made the right choice. It was the lesser of 2 evils, and now rest so we can be at our best when we go into the maze. I promised to lead you to the surface, and I will. We leveled up! Alright, we're going to level up our Cruoromancer first. So we're going to click Cruoromancer. You can click another class to put a point in. So you'd put 1 point in Witch or something like that instead. But I'm planning on going Cruoromancer. Get some extra. I think that's just the class. Maybe I don't think we get extra of that. It doesn't look like we gain anything special here. We'll press next. We've got 5 points to allocate. We're going to keep bumping up these 4, but we got 1 extra here, which is kind of nice, to be honest. Let's, Let's grab a point and... Ooh, that didn't work out. We'll just put a point into mobility. Moving around is nice. We can grab 2 spells, so we could grab Ray of Sickening to have another Ray. Let's look at some of the other options here. So these are not recommended because they are of our weak schools. These are recommended, but we've already taken them. I think I'd like... Hypnotism sounds pretty good. We could grab the Ray of Sickening. I also like the protection from alignment. +2 deflection bonus and +2 resistance bonus on saves. So we're going to grab the protection from alignment. So we got 2 new spells for that level up, and that's all we got for that level up. That's just kind of how wizards roll. If we level up Seela, we're going to put another point into Paladin here. It's allocated a point into Mobility, a point into Knowledge World, and a point into Persuasion. This is the auto level, so I'm not choosing. And it puts the point into Mobility because she gets a lot of negative to her mobility for using shields and armor. And so you're just trying to offset that a little bit. Because I don't want to turn that off, but it just over the levels, you're going to try to make it so that while you don't get a bonus to mobility, you're just going to try to decrease the negative that you're taking. She's going to get her Lay on Hands spells, as well as a Divine Grace ability. She gains a bonus equal to her Charisma bonus on all saving throws, which is pretty great. She's got a decent Charisma, so that's a +2 to all her saving throws. And then we'll complete that. We'll level up Camellia. She's a Spirit Hunter, so she gains a Hex this level. It's going to auto put the points into Trickery and Stealth. I think the Stealth is wasted. I think it would probably be better with like Lore Religion, Lore Nature, maybe Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge World. But they like to put it into Stealth. She's kind of like, not necessarily a rogue, but a rogue hybrid. She's going to get the Ice Plant ability, which will give her a +2 natural armor bonus to AC. The effect leaves the shaman's skin thick and stiff to the touch, and this is going to just help her out in combat. So she doesn't wear a heavy armor, so you're going to use hexes to hurt the enemies in ways, debuff them, and buff yourself to make your melee combat just a little bit more palatable. Lan will level up. He's a Zen Archer, which is a type of monk. He's going to put his points in Athletics, Mobility, and Perception. He's going to grab Precise Shot, which is pretty great. This is the upgrade that helps you hit people that are engaged in melee. He's going to grab Way of the Longbow, giving him a bonus with using longbows. And that's his level. Wenduag is a fighter who uses a bow. She's going to put her point into Lore Nature and Perception. She's going to grab Deadly Aim, so she'll take a penalty to her ranged attack rolls to do higher damage. She also gained the Bravery skill, so she gets a +1 bonus on will saves against fear, and increases by 1 for every 4 levels beyond the second, so it'll go to 2 at level 6. And that's the first level up. I don't like to micromanage their level ups too much, not until I understand the game a bit more. Maybe want to do something a little bit more like crazy with their builds. Right now I'm focusing on specifically her build. She gained quite a bit of health from that level up, which really helps out. It's still not the highest. She's pretty low comparatively. Maybe that was a mistake with character creation. We'll find out. Grabbing as much loot as I can get. We're gonna go talk to Horgus over here.
Finally, someone from the surface. I was beginning to lose hope.
An elderly man in expensive but not ostentatious clothes approaches you. His face is peppered with several healed cuts and bruises and twisted in an expression of extreme discontent. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Horgus Gwyrm. Yes, that Gwyrm. You no doubt have heard of me if you spent any time at all in the city. I have a business proposition for you. Your name tells me nothing. Who are you? You truly are freshly arrived in the city, then. You couldn't have picked a worse time, that's for certain. Only just arrived and the city's been razed to rubble. You should know that you are looking at one of the richest and most distinguished men in Canabras. I may not be as well known as certain swaggering loudmouths who spend their lives traipsing from one ball to the next, but the Gwyrm Trading Company is one of the pillars of the city, I'll have you know. Did you see the marquee in the square? I paid for those. Tried any festival delicacies? You have Horgus Gwyrm to thank for that. What kind of business proposition? I don't know what is happening on the surface right now, but I'm determined to find out. You have no intention of seeing out the rest of your days in this village, I suspect. We must find a route back to the surface, to the city, if there's anything left of it. You are a spellcaster, I presume? A sorcerer? A wizard? I can't tell which exactly, but it doesn't matter. Spells are always useful, especially in a situation like this. You are strong. It will be no trouble to you, but I, alas, am not as fit as I once was. I can't go crawling about through caves, playing at scouts. My proposition is simple. Lead me back to the city and I shall pay you 1,000 gold coins. I suggest we help this man. It is good to have friends among the Canabras elite. So we can try a difficulty 16 diplomacy check with Sela. She's got a +9 to her diplomacy. That means as long as we roll a 9 or higher, I think that's 7 or higher. As long as we roll a 7 or higher, we should be able to pass this check and it'll double our reward. So we're going to try that. And we succeeded. Horgus's gaze is piercing. Are you taking advantage of my dire circumstances? Very well. Make it 2,000. Deal. Splendid. In the meantime, I shall sit here in the village. Go on. Go on. Don't forget our agreement. When you find the way out, be sure to tell me. Clear a path to the surface for Horgus. And then Anevia also comes to sit down here. I think it's down here. Wherever Horgus goes to sit, Anevia also goes to sit. Collect some of that loot. Horgus, he's over there. So we want to go over here. We can talk to Anevia as well. They talk to each other. This tragedy may not have happened if you'd spent less time surveilling honest citizens and more time tracking the real spies and demon worshippers. Brilliant idea. How come I didn't think of it? Now, if only the cultists would tell us they were cultists. Then we wouldn't have to waste time investigating honest citizens who decide to go out cloak and dagger right under our noses. Horgus and Anevia sit at some distance apart, sniping at one another in an idle fashion that testifies to their long acquaintance and mutual dislike. When they notice you, they quickly fall silent. So we could talk to them. I'm just gonna head out. Go on then and don't dilly-dally. The sooner we get out of here, the likelier we are to find some people still alive up there. Take care of yourself. Grab some more loot. There is a trader down here, and I'm trying to find them. Thought the trader was over there. Yeah. There, I think that's you. Yep, let's trade. You there! The tall woman with face deformed by an enormous swelling smiles broadly at you, showing off her double row of small sharp teeth. You from the surface, you must be tough to make it all the way here. Never thought I'd see the day. Call me Dyra, let's trade. We're just going to try to remove some of our bulk here. We're going to make a deal on that. We'll also sell off this padded armor, it's useless. We'll sell off the Masterwork Greatsword, it's worth 100, which is nice. We do have these bracers, but we're going to keep those. Make a deal here. And then we want to go to the hut for resting. Rest. As time passes, your characters become tired and act less effectively. You can see this by the fatigue and exhaustion condition icons on their portraits, which it is giving us just for the sake of tutorial because we have to rest. You have to do it. While resting, all characters restore a portion of their lost hit points. Spellcasters also replenish their spells. Rest also helps you get rid of some of the negative conditions. Resting takes at least 8 hours. We're going to check our spell book to make sure we don't have anything here that we want to add. She's got an extra slot here, so we're going to add She's got a bunch here. We're going to add Inflict Light Wounds here. That way she can also at least cast Inflict Light Wounds once on Cruora. She's also got an extra spell here. We have a favorite school slot for Cause Fear. We got a Magic Missile, a Mage Armor, and a Reduce Person. We're going to add in... What is the area on this? 30 foot, centered on the target point, within a close range. We can hypnotize them. Sounds like a lot of fun. It's an enchantment type. We don't have any further spell slots. Those are our opposition schools. She doesn't have an opposition school. Nobody else has spells. She will learn spells, but at a much decreased rate as other spellcasters. So she'll probably be like level 3 or 4 before she even learns level 1 spells. Meta Magic is cool. It's a feat that you can pick up to increase how spells work, change their functionality a little bit. I have not gotten that far quite yet. And then we would rest here. First we're going to save, and then we're going to wrap up the stream for today. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you like the portrait, you can find that in the link below. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.